Hello, English 100 students. My name is Jesse Latour. I'll be your instructor for this semester. I just wanted to kind of briefly introduce myself and introduce the course a little bit since this is an online course. So I'm going to actually I'm going to share my screen and go to the Canvas module where we'll be doing most of the, the coursework. So let me see here. All right, so here we are on the Canvas modules for this course. So you can see that it's divided into weeks. So for each week, it'll tell you kind of what the assignments are for that week. So for this week, just a hello and welcome. And again, my email is here. So it's jlatour@fullcall.edu. You can also message me on Canvas, or you can send me an email to that email. The first thing that I wanted to go over today, though, is the syllabus. So I'm just going to click on the syllabus tab over here on the left. And I'm not going to read over every single part of the syllabus, but I just wanted to kind of highlight a few things that are important, for the course. So again, my name is Jesse Latour. My email is jlatour@fullcall.edu. And I will read this little introduction. So it says, again, this is college writing, English 100. So writing is a skill acquired by consistent practice, feedback, and revision. The ability to read and understand challenging texts and the ability to organize and compose your thoughts into a coherent and convincing essay are crucial for success in college. The specific focus of this class is to help you develop your skills as an academic writer. This is not a lecture class, so I'll be occasionally posting, videos like that, but a lot of the class is going to be consisting of discussion, and for an online class that takes place on the discussion boards, which I'll get to in a moment, and also, of course, writing. You'll be doing weekly reading responses, and then you'll be writing 4 essays throughout the semester. So, thus, especially with an online course, what you get out of this class will depend largely upon what you put into it. It's my hope that upon completion of this class, you feel more confident as a writer of academic essays. A few student learning outcomes. So we have these for all of the courses at Fullerton College, but each course has its own unique things that you're supposed to kind of get out of the course. So these are pretty short, so I'll read over these. So students completing this course will be able to compose a focused essay with a clear thesis. Of course, if you're not sure what that means, we'll get to that in the reading and discussion. Cite information from outside sources in an essay. So that's kind of a big component of English 100 of college writing is all of the essays will have a component where you'll need to be incorporating research, that is information, quotes, etc., from sources. That's articles, books, etc. And then lastly, to synthesize outside information with your own analysis. So, being able to incorporate quotes and ideas from other, writing and research that you've done into your own essays, your own discussion of the topics that you'll be writing about. The textbook is called From Inquiry to Academic Writing, a Text and Reader, and that is available at the Fullerton College bookstore. You can also probably order it online, but just be aware with ordering online that there might be a delay, between when you get it and when you need it. Basically, the coursework consists of kind of 3 main things that you'll be doing, regularly throughout the course. Those are reading responses, out-of-class essays, and then the weekly class discussion. So I will read over these. So for reading responses, it just says, throughout the course, you will write several reading responses in which you write your reactions and responses to the week's assigned readings. Reading responses are meant to help you prepare for class discussion and to practice writing in a more informal way. Reading responses should be 400 words. That's about a page typed. And you can submit them on the Canvas module each week, and I'll show you where to do that in a moment. I would recommend that the reading responses have 2 parts. So you're going to be reading, usually a chapter each week, And so for the first part of your response, I'd like you to basically just summarize the reading in your own words, kind of what are the key points or the main ideas of the reading. And then with the second part, I'd like you to give your own thoughts and reactions to the reading. That is, what did you find interesting? Did you disagree with anything that you read? Did you have questions about it? Things like that. So part one, just what did you read, kind of in your own words, and then part two, what did you think about what you read? So that's part one. So you'll be doing one of those each week, except for maybe I think the last week. Then you have the out-of-class essays. So you'll be writing 4 essays throughout the course. And essays, I require that they're 4 full pages. So typed, double-spaced, MLA format. We'll talk about MLA format, you know, kind of in the virtual space of the class. So those, and then lastly is the weekly class discussion. So each week you're going to engage in an online class discussion on Canvas. So again, those will be in response to the week's assigned readings, but you could also bring in, you know, maybe elements from an essay that you're working on, that kind of a thing. So for the class discussion, it's going to be basically kind of in a discussion board format. So I'll post, you know, the topic of the discussion on that week's, you know, discussion module. And then you need to post at least one comment during that week in reply. I'm sorry, forgive me. Post at least one comment, kind of just in response to the discussion, to the chapter, to the reading. And then you need to also reply to at least one classmate's comment with an additional comment that's at least 100 words each. So, you know, so you're not just posting your comment, but hopefully there's a little bit of engagement and back and forth. And I'll be also participating in the discussion on the discussion board and chiming in kind of in response to some of your comments and discussions. So that will be sort of the, you know, the online version. If you've taken an online course, you're familiar with this. Kind of a way, you know, like, you know, we would normally have an in-person discussion. This will be kind of the online version of that. So the grading policy is basically just a point system. So you can see here, each essay is worth 100 points. The reading responses are worth a total of 150 points. So there's 15 of those because of, you know, each week in the semester, minus the last week. Same with the discussion, 150 points, 10 points each, 1 for each week. So late work, makeup policy. So generally, my policy is that I do accept late essays. However, I will drop them 10 points for each. Actually here, this is a little bit of a typo, but not for each class period that it's late, but for each week that it's late, you know, because we don't have actual class periods with the online. So for each week that an essay is late, it gets dropped 10 points. So it's, you know, it's still worth it for you to turn in essays late to get the points, but that's kind of my policy. And generally I don't accept late reading responses, with the one exception of, I got a couple of messages from folks in the class about, you know, I ordered my book online. I'm not going to be getting it until like the end of the week. So I will for the first week. Now, if you can get your book and you can get the reading response done this week, then that's ideal. If for some reason you're not able to get your book immediately this first week, I will allow you to turn in this week's week 1 reading response a week late if you need to. So there you go. Also, another aspect of the course is revision. So because, you know, I believe that revision is a really important part, you know, of the writing process, I do allow you to revise 2 of your out-of-class essays for a higher grade by the end of the semester. Generally, what that means is you can recover 10 points back. We'll talk more, probably more toward in the second half of the semester, what I mean by revision and kind of what that entails, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. And it's, you know, it's a good deal because, you know, let's say you get a score that you're not happy with on an essay, it's not set in stone, you can revise it and improve it. Academic honesty. So yeah, again, you're probably familiar with this perhaps from other courses, but just a word about plagiarism. So this is a writing course, so there is, I guess, the possibility of of plagiarism, which basically means taking somebody else's words or ideas and passing them off as your own. One thing with academic writing is that whenever you use someone else's words or ideas, you have to cite them properly or give credit to them. And we'll talk more in class, and you'll be reading about how to cite sources properly in MLA format. But yeah, you don't want to, plagiarize or just take something that is someone else's work and sort of pass it off as your own. That's not an ethical practice. So if you do that, then, generally you will probably get a 0 on the assignment. But if you have questions about it, again, talk to me. And, sometimes, people might inadvertently not cite something, and that's something that we can, work through and figure out how to do correctly. I'm going to skip ahead here. Americans with Disabilities Act. So if you do need any special accommodations, if you have a disability, please let me know. Also, there's the Disability Support Services Office that you can contact, and they have additional resources. So, and then here we have a course calendar, which is basically just kind of an outline of what we're going to be doing each week. I try to keep it fairly simple. I don't want to overwhelm you with, information. I mean, basically, as I said, each week you're going to be doing 2 to 3 main things. So number 1 is the reading and the reading response. Number 2 is the discussion. And then number 3 will be, I guess, starting next week, working on an essay, one of the 4 essays that you'll be writing throughout the semester. So I'd like to go back to, so that's kind of the syllabus in a nutshell. Hopefully that's not too much information. And so you can see here we are in, week 1. So reading response number 1, I'm just going to click on there. And it gives the chapter, right? So chapter 1 called Starting with Inquiry. So you're going to read that, and then you need to, post your response. So this one is due. Generally, the reading responses and discussions are due by Friday of the week, that week. So you need to post this by this coming Friday. Again, it's 400 words typed. And again, you want to begin by summarizing the text and then giving your own thoughts and reactions. And then the discussions are also based on the reading, but these are hopefully a little bit more, interactive. So with these, you're going to post, and you can take some stuff maybe from your reading response. If you had some, thoughts and reactions that you wrote about in there, you can incorporate that into your discussion. But these are generally, again, about each chapter. So the discussion for chapter 1, the discussion for week 1 is about chapter 1, starting with inquiry. And again, you're going to post an initial comment that gives your thoughts and reactions. And then you also need to reply to at least one classmate's comment with an additional comment. So we get a little bit of that, back and forth discussion going on there. So next week, we will be assigning the first essay. But I think for today, that's probably enough. I'm going to be posting these videos occasionally. But I just wanted to introduce myself, give you a little brief introduction to the course, take a look at the syllabus more carefully, and get your textbooks. And I will see you online. Thank you very much. And hope we have a great semester. And again, email me or message me on Canvas if you have any questions. Have a good day.